Hello, this is Nick from Dripper Labs, and today we're going to go on to the next topic. We're going to use our trusty blackcurrant menthol recipe, and we're going to talk about Flavour Strength. So this bar at the top here is something that we haven't really talked about much. We may have noticed that it's been filling up as we increase and decrease and change slider values. Ultimately, there is only so much physical space in a bottle for flavour. Now, the reason we don't draw too much attention to it is the goal is not to fill this flavour bar up. So you don't have to push it all the way to the top to get good flavour. There is a general guide that you'll see in the help if you look up our Flavour Strength topic, that over 50% is where you want to be. The reason we don't draw too much attention is you don't always want to have a double espresso. Sometimes you just want a cup of tea. You don't always want to listen to music on full blast. You just want it on in the background. And that is what it's all about. There's no requirement to push it all the way up. You can make great flavors anywhere above this sort of level, the 50% mark. So there are a couple more things to know about Flavour Strength. The first one is that different ingredients take up different amounts of space. So if I want to use cooler, for example, then I can put lots and lots of cooler. Even 100% is only going to move the slider by a small amount. Equally, if I go for something like elderflower, it's a very strong flavor. So in full 100%, it only takes up a small percent of the flavor space. So ingredients are different, and it has some negative impact. So for example, on a strawberry, you can really put lots and lots and lots of strawberry in a bottle without it going too strong or exceeding that max. So if you want the 100% strawberry, it might even take up 60 or 70% of the total flavor strength space that you have. So this brings us into the first time. If I can't make space for the flavor, I let go and it will ping back to the most that I can fit in this current recipe. And that's where you need to start getting a bit tactful. So you need to make some space to increase or decrease different ingredients. So when you want to make space, you can actually use the top bar itself. Now this only works on desktop PC at the moment, but if you grab this bar, then you can scale a recipe which will keep the relative strengths of your different ingredients the same, but reduce them overall. So you can, if you've got the balance of your recipe the way you like it, then you can bring it down a bit and then maybe push that one ingredient up that you wanted more of, and maybe adjust. Perhaps you like your sweetness at 20%. So Flavour strength is something that you should be aware of, that you want it to be between 50 and 100, but you don't need to feel compelled to fill it up. And that is the introduction to Flavour strength and the art of making space for all of the ingredients that you want. The final thing I will say about Flavour strength is you need to use some common sense. So for example, if we have lots of flavors that are here at low levels, then we may well take up lots of flavor space overall because we've got lots of different ingredients in there. But none of them are going to stand out. None of them are carrying, okay, in this case, particularly if I bring the blackcurrant down. So, here we've got a 50% flavor space, but no leading flavors. So for want of a much better word, you could end up with something that tastes a bit muddy. It's a little bit of lots of flavors and none of them in particular. So use common sense. Equally, if I have something that's very similar to our blueberry cordial, which I think has a bit of lemon and lime in it as well. It's something like this. With that flavor, we push the blueberry all the way to intense. So here we're right on that cutoff of the 50%, but we know that we're not going to be lacking flavor because we've got one very strong flavor. So it isn't an exact science, which is why it's there as a guide, not as an explicit good or bad recipe thing. You can use it as an extra bit of information to combine it with what you're looking at to make sure that you feel like you've got plenty of flavor in your recipes. You won't often fill it up, but if you do, you can use the top scale to make some space or reduce them individually to get them where you want them to be. Thank you very much. In the next video, we will be talking about making notes on your recipes. See you there.